Okay, let's jump right into this deep dive. We're cracking open your source material today.
Yes, we are. Specifically, an excerpt from William Boericke's Homeopathic Materia Medica.
And we're zoning in on Ammoniacum gummi.
Exactly. And our mission really is to unpack what this specific text says about it, pull out the key insights, for you looking at this material.
Right, so what is this stuff? The source calls it Ammoniacum gummi, also gummamon.
Or Ammoniacum durama, yeah, same thing.
Oh,
And what's interesting is how quickly it defines who it's supposedly for.
it does, doesn't it? Straight away,
Yeah.
it says it's a remedy for the aged and feeble.
And specifically mentions chronic bronchitis. So right from the start, it's not general, it's targeted.
Very specific patient profile.
Definitely. Aged, feeble, chronic bronchitis. That's the context here.
Okay, so then it gets into the symptoms. Starts quite general, actually. Ill humor.
Yeah, sort of a general disposition thing. And sensitive to cold, basic sensitivities.
Okay, then the head. Catarrhal headache due to closure of frontal sinuses. What does catarrhal mean again, exactly?
Basically, inflammation involving mucus. So think inflammation, maybe discharge in those sinuses right above the eyebrows. It's linking that specific headache to that spot.
Gotcha. And the eyes. This part has some vivid descriptions. Dim sight. Okay, but then stars and fiery points float before eyes.
Fiery points, yeah, that's quite striking, isn't it?
Very. And also eyes easily fatigued from reading.
And those kinds of really specific sensory details, the fiery points that's gold in these materia medicas, they're seen as characteristic, helping distinguish this remedy.
Right, makes sense. Okay, moving down. Throat and esophagus. Throat dry, worse inhaling fresh air.
And a full feeling, burning and scraping sensation. Lots of sensory words.
But this next bit really stands out to me. Immediately after eating, sensation as if something stuck in esophagus, causing swallowing.
Yes, that timing immediately after eating and that specific sensation, feeling stuck. That's the kind of pinpoint detail these texts prioritize.
Why is that so specific?
Well, within homeopathy, that precision helps differentiate it. Another remedy might cause a stuck feeling, but maybe, hours after eating or unrelated to food, the exact circumstance matters.
Interesting. Okay, so given the focus on chronic bronchitis, the respiratory symptoms must be key.
They are. It mentions difficult breathing, obviously, and chronic bronchial catarrh.
That just
Well, it talks about a large amount of purulent matter, basically, pus.
okay.
And feeble expectoration, meaning it's hard to cough the stuff up, it's worse in cold weather, and the mucus itself is tough and hard.
Tough and hard mucus. And there's a sound mentioned too.
Yeah, coarse rattling of chest in old people.
Yeah.
You can almost hear that description. It paints a picture of that congestion.
It really does. It also briefly mentions the heart. Heart beats stronger, extends to pit of stomach.
So you see how it builds. It's connecting symptoms across different body systems.
Head, eyes, throat, chest, even heart.
Right. But always kind of circling back to that initial profile, aged, feeble, chronic lung issues, and adding these layers of detail about sensation, timing, sound.
And it also lists relationships, antidotes like bryonia, arnica, and comparisons, Seneca, tartaremetic.
Yeah, antidotes are substances thought to counteract the remedy's effects. Comparisons are other remedies with similar symptoms requiring careful differentiation. It helps the practitioner navigate.
And there's a dose suggested. Third, trituration.
Trituration is just a preparation method, grinding with lactose. The third refers to the potency level, so it's practical usage information within that system.
Okay, so let's try and pull this all together. We have ill humor, fiery points, that stuck feeling after eating, the rattling chest. How does this seemingly scattered list create a coherent picture for this remedy, according to the source?
Well, the idea in this kind of text is that these aren't scattered. They form a unique pattern, a totality of symptoms. So when you see a patient specifically aged, feeble, chronic bronchitis, who also has this particular headache, and the fiery points and that specific stuck feeling post-meal and the tough mucus, the rattling, that whole unique combination is thought to point towards Ammoniacum gummi.
It's about recognizing the whole distinct state.
Exactly, the complete picture.
So for you, the listener, digging into your source material like this, it really shows that incredible level of detail, doesn't it? That focus on matching very specific symptom patterns.
It's not just cough, it's this kind of cough in this kind of person with these other specific things going on. That's the approach highlighted here.
The value is in those precise, sometimes unusual details.
They define the remedy's supposed niche, its profile.
Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive then. Ammoniacum gummi in Boericke's text here comes across sharply focused. Aged, feeble, chronic bronchitis.
Described through a very particular set of symptoms, sensory details, timing, the works.
A detailed map for a specific situation as presented in this source. So here's something to think about based only on what we've read here. Consider that intense level of sensory detail. The burning, scraping, feeling stuck, those fiery points. What does that focus on subjective personal experience suggest about how these remedy pictures were actually put together? How were those details gathered and recorded?
It's an interesting question about the origins of these descriptions.
Definitely something to ponder as you look at these texts. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.